Happy Monday, everyone. Welcome to today's live. I'm the Urban Seer, your guide to love, destiny, and manifesting the life you desire. I hope you're all doing well. This Monday, 5th of January, as we're still easing into the new year, I hope you're all doing well. I've posted the list because it's already closed, so I've just posted it in the chat just so we can smoothly keep things going. Quick reminder of how I read. So I'm an energy reader, bringing you insight and clarity to your situation. So please do share context and as much information as you feel comfortable with. It allows me to provide you a meaningful reading. I don't read on yes/no questions, timelines, or general readings. So please bear that in mind. And also hold your question until you're called. If there's no response, I will have to skip you just to keep things moving. And whilst you're here waiting for your reading, just check the chat guidelines that are posted and take a moment to review them. That would be great. But thank you all so much for being here. Today I'm using the Goddess Tarot, so I hope you enjoy this. I've used this maybe just once or twice before. Just move my Ganesh into the picture here. Hey to everyone in the chat. Hey Anshuman, Country, Sruthi, Ivo, Tia, Samreen, really glad that you could make it. I don't know what was going on with that account. I don't think it was anything my end because you weren't added, to the hidden users or anything like that, but I'm glad you've been able to access the readings again. But let's get into it. Thank you, Sruthi, for posting your question. So Sruthi asks, hi Seer, how are you? I'm good, thank you. And a big thank you for always reading for me. You're very welcome. What does my energy reveal about how I view myself right now? Great question. Let's see. No worries, Sruthi. And yes, the beautiful Ganesh is with us again. So what does Sruthi's energy reveal about how they view themselves right now? This is a beautiful card. 8 of Pentacles. So the 8 of Pentacles, this is obviously your energy. This is you depicted in this picture, working on something diligently, putting in lots of effort, being consistent, showing up. You are creating whatever this represents for you here. If it's your career, it can be about career and money because it's Pentacles, it's Earth energy, Sruthi. But you are consistently and diligently showing up and working on something valuable. You are creating something of quality, which is leading you towards your 10 of Pentacles. So we go from the 8, the 9. So you're very close to the 10, you're not far away. And the 10 is about the goal in a way, that kind of maybe more financial stability, financial independence, some kind of career breakthrough. There's always light and shadow to every card. So on one aspect, the 8 of Pentacles would only warn against, I would say, maybe working too hard and maybe not to be careful, because this is about how you view yourself, that your only value is in working very hard. Okay, so don't be too hard on yourself. Don't make your whole life all about work. Don't hold all your value in sort of having, lots of people have this thing about having to work incredibly hard to prove, their existence in a way. And really, all as humans and stuff, our job in many ways is, it's okay to just exist and enjoy the ride, at least sometimes, you know. One more, please, Spirit. You're focusing on your writing skills. Okay, so working on your craft. And maybe, you know, that being a writer is also about how, you know, that you're building this identity, Sruthi, and leaning into that, your identity as a writer. But, you know, you are producing something of great value here, Spirit says. So they're encouraging you to keep doing that. We have a King of Swords, which can represent someone in your life who is quite a tough character, or someone who is maybe a bit critical, or that could be an internal voice as well, or it can actually be external energies around you, a particular male character maybe. But tell you what resonates, leave what doesn't with that. The King of Swords, just when it came through, I kind of felt like it was maybe this more critical energy coming in to protect yourself from. Maybe an energy that you feel like you need to prove yourself to again. But nonetheless, this feels ultimately something positive and something to continue to work on and keep your focus here. And try to protect or tune out this more oppressive energy that maybe is near you, around you, or even within you with that critical voice. Okay, I'll leave it there. Shruti says, yes, I do have that thought of I don't work hard enough, I'm not worth anything. That, yeah, like a lot of us experience that our self-worth is tied up in how much that we're producing and how hard that we're working. So try to keep the joy and the beauty, particularly in something, you know, as creative as writing. It's a hard balance to strike. Okay, I think maybe my mum, because she is back. So this has brought in that kind of swords energy for you, Shruti. So if that's a critical figure in your life, yeah, someone who can be quite oppressive. So protect yourself and protect this, you know. I don't know, they might say like not be very encouraging about your writing. Okay, I'll leave it there anyway and I'll move on, but thank you for your question. I hope it resonated. Okay, so we move on to now we have Shreya, my love. If you are here, please go ahead and post your question. You're very welcome, Srufi, as always. I'm glad that resonated. Lots of love to you as well. So here's the list, guys. We have Shreya. I'm not sure if Shreya's here. Then we have Diamond Girl. I think I've seen Diamond Girl. Both go ahead and post your questions. Hey Geeta, my love, glad that you could make it. Thank you for being here. Okay, did I see Diamond Girl? Yes, I did. Shreya, Diamond Girl, Country. Just doing shout outs now for, please go ahead, post your question. So Diamond Girl, is there any particular area that you want to focus on? Just because I don't do general readings, so see what comes through, see what Spirit gives me. But the more specific that we can be, the more meaningful reading that will come through for you. Okay. So you may have to decipher, Diamond Girl, okay? There's a bit of a delay in the chat. So like I say, if you've got something particularly on your mind at the moment, because that kind of question is quite wide open in general. So what you don't see coming. But with the Seven of Wands, this is, you're going to have to hold your ground on something, okay? You're going to have to be stubborn. You're going to have to set down a boundary, and there is some resistance that will, some opposition even is what I hear, okay, Diamond, that will come up against you. And we can see this is Seven of Staves. So in the traditional deck, that would be Wands. And this card is sometimes that we can feel that we're being, someone or a situation is trying to cross us, or is trying to push a boundary, test a boundary, or back us into a corner. And it can cause stress, can cause frustration, some anger even, with this fire energy that Staves is ruled by. And the message from Spirit is to, when you realize what this is, so it's coming up in the near future, when you feel it, when you come up against it, you need to not back down, and you need to speak your truth, take your stance, and speak clearly, you know, with your full chest, as the expression goes, okay? One more, please, Spirit. Can be to do in opposition with someone in particular, this Queen of Swords. Again, this kind of is come through sometimes in these group situations. A lot of collective messages come through, a bit like with Shruti, that there is maybe someone in particular. So Diamond, like I say, if you can elaborate and share with us in which aspect that you are particularly focusing on in your life at the moment, the more, you know, that you can apply this to. That can be helpful. Queen of Swords can be a particular person though, or this is the situation represented by the Queen of Swords energy. It can be quite harsh, some form of opposition, someone who will come up against you and may be quite harsh with their words. But don't let that throw you off course. Don't let that derail you, okay? Stand strong against this kind of energy. I'll leave it there. Okay, so we move on to, I don't think Shrey's here, so I will skip, and I'm going to read for country. Thanks for moderating, Geeta. I've got country's question here, Geeta. Thank you. Okay, so country says, my relationship with my sister has been a bit strained. Yesterday was her birthday, so I stayed out of town a little longer to celebrate with her. And when everyone got dressed, she set me up to stay home with the kids. Ooh, I felt a sort of way about this, yeah. I could have been home working on my business, and honestly, I'm ready to release the relationship. That's tough, country. What's the energy surrounding me walking away? This toxic relationship forever. Sorry, something's gone wrong with my chat here. this toxic relationship forever. I mean, she's my sister and I love her, but I feel it's important for me to show my kids proper love in a relationship of all magnitudes. Well said, country. Absolutely. Just because it's family, just because it's blood, doesn't mean that we have to keep these relationships going, yeah? So let's have a look, country. That's like strange behaviour, yeah, country, to invite you and then use you for childcare, yeah? Not cool, not cool. Okay, so the specific question, what's the energy surrounding me walking away from this toxic relationship forever? Major Arcana, wow, look at this. If a picture could speak 1,000 words to me. Transformation. So this is similar to, look, this has even got you and your sister in this image. Okay, take which energy that you resonate with in this picture. And this card actually in the traditional deck, this card transformation relates to the death card, which is about endings. Okay. We see this woman in the center who, it's funny, her face is kind of smiling or placid, you know, but it's almost like that her mind is kind of split, you know, that there's this huge sort of amount of distress in this card as well. And I kind of feel more like this central energy is more like your sister's energy. Maybe she has two sides to her. Maybe she has got a lot of mental distress, you know, and this kind of seeps out into this relationship and she takes it out on you, or it comes between you. But transformation is about endings and needing to close things out, to distance ourselves from this kind of energy. Oh, and your kids are teens as well, so you know it was BS. So this card, transformation, spirit is backing you 100%, country, in a way around this energy, that if you know, feel like that this is toxic and it needs to be, you know, there needs to be an ending essentially that happens here. It doesn't even mean that like we have to close the door forever. You may feel like you know, want to do that, and that's totally valid and fine as well. But we can also, you know, close this door for now, close this cycle, focus on your peace, like you say, express to your children like your standards and what proper love means to you. Yeah, that is, like you say, a very important message. Not to put up with toxic behavior. You know, we've had enough pain, we've had enough suffering here. The Eight of Swords. This is your energy, country. So maybe you just feel like, you know, this person has almost reached like a state of collapse in a way, haven't they? You know, they've had so many knives thrown at them, so many wounds in a way. And it's also about like anxiety and worry on your mind, like maybe it causes you a lot of stress as well it takes up a lot of your energy thinking about it, because the Eight of Swords is about mental, again, kind of mental distress, which is a bit of a reoccurring pattern here. And swords are about as well symbolic for, you know, cutting people out of our lives, cutting people off at that point, and it does bring a harsher energy. But sometimes when we reach this stage, you know, we have to save ourselves, really. You know, what good is coming from perpetuating this situation if someone won't change? If we kind of, I'm sure you've tried to express in the past what you feel, what you think. You know, if you feel like you've communicated your truth and not been heard, not been listened to a number of times, and someone isn't ready to hear, then, you know, you don't owe them anything, and it's okay to transform this situation and walk away. So I'll leave it there. But I feel like Spirit is saying, you know, this is weighing heavy on your heart and mind. This situation does need to change. It shouldn't continue as it is. And there is a lot of opposition here between you two. And this cycle, you know, closing this out and protecting your peace can only be healing, I feel like, at this point. Tired. Yeah, exactly. Country says I'm tired. That's exactly what I'll do. Love and light to you, Country. That's a very difficult situation. Hey, Anne. Lovely to see you. Happy New Year. Thank you so much for popping in. So Tia Bia, my love, if you, thank you, Tia. So Tia says, me and Pisces stayed in touch the past week, but plans were shaky, okay, and a small friend-related hiccup slowed things down. We talked it out. What is the energy future actions of the Pisces towards me? Okay, let's have a look. Thank you, Geeta. Next actions of the Pisces, please, Spirit, towards Tia. Ace of Swords, being able to move forward with more clarity. So I feel like that conversation that you had, so his friend got involved and it was being messy. So I feel like this feels like a reset, a fresh start from that with the Ace of Swords. So we keep building off, we keep communication straight, we keep communication clear. You were able to talk it out. And like you say, you talked it out and you think you're okay. And this would double down on that. Yeah, this card would reassure us that that is the case. We stack this sword planted in the ground, you know, with clarity and with understanding. Let's pull one more. That friend, obviously, I hope you can distance yourself from them if they're trying to cause issues for you both. That doesn't sound good. Oh. Is this your Pisces or is this person? Who is, right, so this King of Swords, I need to work out, can be someone who is like very blunt with communication. I don't know if this resonates with who this friend is. But because we also know that your Pisces is like big on communication, if that makes sense. It's something they're working on. It's something that you know that you have to be careful with how communication happens between you. You know, there has to be a lot of reassurance, a lot of clarity. You know, there's a lot of talking it out, talking it through for your Pisces. So that could just be that there's more to come with that, and then we just keep going down this communication line. Just Spirit, please clarify this King of Swords. Or this King of Swords, if it was a friend energy, I feel like then it's like someone who is like a manipulator. All right, well, in answer to your question, if you wanted to keep progressing, yes, because we have a Prince of Pentacles, which is wanting to work on things, wanting to build, wanting to keep moving forward. The way to do that, your best bet, like we've said before, and what this card is saying, is communication is key. Okay, so as long as you keep tabs on that, don't try and hide anything from this Pisces. You know, just be upfront, keep it straight, keep talking things through, keep reassuring them, and you're okay, and you'll be okay. And this Pentacles energy is confirmation that yes, they do in fact want to build and continue on this relationship. So I do think sometimes, Tia, that you doubt this too much. There's a lot of self-doubt on your side, so try to have a bit more faith in this connection and their feelings for you as well. And there can be a bit of a worst case scenario. So, you know, if something goes wrong, then I feel like often that you feel like it's going to end. Okay. But positive read, both really the energies for all that was positive. So try to trust and believe a bit more for your side here, okay? I don't think Danny's here. I do a call out for Danny. Are you here? Please do post. Thanks, Anshaman, for posting. I'll read for Anshaman, and then if Danny posts in that time, I can read for him after. Anshaman says, what does Spirit want to tell me about the coming person in my life? So is this, so Anshaman, please provide more context detail. Is this love? Are you single? Are you, you know, please be specific. You're welcome, Tia. There could be many people coming into your life, Anshaman. So this is love reading though? This is what I'm asking, yeah? What is happening? What is coming your way in love, yeah? Or who is coming? Okay, please be specific, guys. Please give me context of your situation. Give me background. Anshaman knows this. He knows better. But I'll forgive him. Right, what's next in love for Anshaman? Ooh! Well, something that is passionate. Something that will move quickly. Anshaman, okay? This is telling me not necessarily... I'll ask another card to see if we can get a specific energy read on who is coming through. This feels more like the energy of the connection, fast moving, intense, strong, kind of magnetic pull. 8 of Staves is like almost a sense of kind of rushing. So if you felt stagnation, if you felt too much stillness in this area of your life, the next connection that is coming is going to move fast. It's going to be fast and furious. Can you tell me anything about this person's characteristics, please? Ooh. So transformation card. Is there something from the past, Anshaman, that anything that needs closing out? Transformation card can be that, you know, where this came up for a country before. It can talk about an ending that needs to happen. Or it could be something that your person is still wrapped up in. So if this isn't your energy, then this is their energy. Someone is currently still in kind of a messy place with a connection, and they feel very torn. That if you see this energy, like, you know, someone has mental distress, this card is about, okay? They could have even had to sort of take to their bed, yeah? So this needs to be closed out fully, okay? This needs to be resolved before we can move forward. So you might know who this person is, someone who is potentially caught up in another connection that needs to end but is having trouble ending. Or if there's anything like that in your life, Anshaman, as well, loose ends of connections that have become more drains than anything significant or real to build on, then now is the time for you to focus on that as well, and hold space for this positive, new, lighter, brighter kind of connection here. Something about with this card, there is endings that, like I say, if this doesn't resonate for you, then this is what's going on for them. If you've got someone particular on mind and things are moving slow even with them, it can be that they're caught up in another connection. That's what's slowing it down. But I do foresee that ending. Okay. So I hope that resonated. Next up we have Samreen, as Geeta has said there kindly. Samreen, luckily, hopefully she's still here, is able to get back in the chat after some tech issues. Hey Samreen, let's have a look at your pilot's energy. Does the pilot see our relationship in long-term direction? You're welcome, Anshaman. Samreen says, we are doing great till now, but without any commitment. Okay. I'm seeing your message, Samreen. Ooh, well, we have commitment. We do have commitment. Four of Staves, I mean, it is a card of traditionally as well, one of the cards of marriage, Samreen. Look at this. I mean, this in this particular deck, it actually depicts a marriage as well. So, I mean, there couldn't really be a clearer answer there for you, Samreen. Let's have a look, okay, because why aren't we seeing that yet? Okay, so the Pilot, yes, in answer to your question, does see the relationship in a long-term direction. We have a card of stability, a card of marriage, which is Four of Staves, unity, you know, beautiful, beautiful card. So let's see why you're not feeling that, why you're not seeing that now. Yeah? Exactly, Gita. Wow. I agree. Okay, so we have Rhiannon and we have the word movement. This is a major arcana. So there is movement happening, Samreen, okay? We are moving in the right direction is what I feel like. You know, this horse is confidently moving along. So this is a kind of trust the process, Samreen, I feel like. Maybe, what about the relationship, you know, says to you that there isn't any commitment? What is commitment to you? Because both these cards, you know, would say, yes, we are moving in the right direction, and yes, we are moving towards, you know, marriage. So is it that, you know, you need the ring, which, you know, is fair enough, obviously, that's the sort of true declaration of, you know, commitment is actually in a traditional sense, not for everyone, can be marriage. But this energy in these cards says that we are moving in the right direction. And like I say, what flags about, okay, so we've got some cultural issues that are blocking it, is that right? Well, this card as well, again, would suggest that we would be able to overcome it because of this movement card. So keep working on the manifestation, Samreen, okay, in overcoming any obstacles that have cropped up. If there's actual kind of practical obstacles as well, whatever they are, keep working on your daily practice of manifestation to get the outcome that you want, and trust your you know, an affirmation: everything is working out for me, everything is moving in the right direction. Even if I don't see it or feel it now, everything is moving in the right direction for this relationship, because that's what these cards say. So trust and believe there, Samreen, okay? Trust and believe. Okay, moving on. Thank you, Eco7. Yeah, pressure to get married, I understand, Samreen. Like pressure to get married quickly, maybe. Well, I hope that reading helped reassure you, Samreen, because it was very reassuring energy too. I felt, okay? So Eco7 asks, may I ask Spirit about my career energy? Absolutely. For the first half of the year. Okay, anything that I should be aware of? Sure thing, Eco. Yes, I'm sorry, Samreen, about that. What awful. I was worried then that you might not be able to get back in. So I'm so glad that you could. I still don't know why your old account was blocked. Maybe we'll never know. Okay, Eco 7, my love. So the first half of the year in your career. What kind of energy? We're going to go into the year of the horse, yeah, on Feb 17th, which I know I've talked about a lot. So which I'm quite excited about, actually, this fire horse. It's a yang fire horse energy. So set up to be a very fast and furious year. Okay, Queen of Swords, look at you. So you will be manifesting and evolving into your Queen of Swords energy, Eco 7. Feeling stronger, feeling clearer, feeling more powerful than maybe what you have done up to this point. Or if you are starting to feel that kind of energy, then it's something that will continue and that you will build on. We know, you know, from regulars at the channel here, that the Queen of Swords does not suffer fools. Okay, she is able to ask for what she wants, communicate clearly, even if, you know, people sometimes have to feel the sharp edge of the sword. Okay, it's not about protecting others this year, Eco 7, as we go in to the 2026 and the first half of the year. We need to cut out people, places, things that no longer serve us. So anything that is draining your resources, anyone that is maybe a drain on you that you're not vibing with, it's almost like what I'm hearing is we need to streamline the business, streamline your energy. And almost be quite selfish, Eco 7, as well. You know, prioritize the business and be very strategic as well. The Queen of Swords and Swords energy is about being really leading with our head rather than our heart. It's less so much of an emotional journey and more of a strategic journey. And yeah, being a tough cookie, and you will see great results. Yeah, empowering. Which is aligned with, you know, the fire horse energy as well. It's just about kind of things moving fast and, you know, clearing the path. It's like change and movement and growth is going to happen, and it's time to start making those difficult decisions and trimming the fat. So Four of Swords is, this can be after a period of rest, after a period of stillness, the Four of Swords. This is that same Queen. Or it can be as well, because things will move fast, because we will be so focused. I might actually feel like that this is a slight warning of not to burn yourself out. So do, again, a way to put yourself first and look after yourself. Do carve out periods of rest in this coming year, because this energy, and with the fire horse energy of 26, you will be busy and things will move fast. So yeah, just try to maintain some balance so that we don't get burnt out, don't get ill, you know, things like that, just by taking some time out as well. Okay, I hope that resonated, Eco 7. Oh, Devea asked an interesting question there. Thank you, Devea. I'm just going to post the rest of the list. So, Devea asks, what is the most important thing I need to do differently this year? I can't believe it. We get so many, you know, kind of collective energy cards here. Again, much similar to what Eco 7's kind of energy was for 2026, Devea. We need to really put ourselves first this year, and we need to be a little bit tougher about how we are with people and in situations, and if necessary, maybe distance ourselves or even cut loose people, places, things that aren't serving us, or you know, tell them what's on our mind, not in an emotional way, but in a kind of, this is the situation, this is what I need, or this is what's going to happen. Queen of Swords pulls no punches. She is strategic. She comes from a place of, like I say, using her mind rather than being emotional and heart-led. But the very center of it is that the Queen of Swords is committed to her truth, her needs, her, not in a negative way, but in a kind of, I'm going to fill my cup first way. Okay, like I'm going to set the tone, I'm going to set the boundary, I'm going to preserve my energy, and this is the way that it's going to go down. It's that kind of vibe, okay, that we're leading with. Yes, listening also, Eco 7. Lots of messages cross over. Anything else for Devea? And you'll see results, Devea, and you will begin to thrive if you can bring this energy. Yeah. There we go. More of this. Boundaries, standing your ground. People may try to, you know, once we start speaking our truth, once we start talking about our needs, you may get resistance. You may already be feeling this from somewhere. This person is kind of stressed from being almost pushed around by other people or by circumstances. Them really trying to back you into a corner and test your boundaries, cross lines, you know, push you into a situation that you know you don't want to be in. And the 7 of Staves says, you know, even if you're at the very kind of edge of a cliff here, backed into the edge of the cliff, defend yourself kind of to the last. It's all about speaking out what we want and what we need, and sometimes that's always viewed as a negative thing, but as long as you're not hurting others and that you're doing it from a place of protecting your peace, and it doesn't mean that you can't be compassionate, that you can't be generous, that you can't be all of these things, but it's almost like that other people's problems aren't your problems. Yeah, you can listen with love and be compassionate, but it's like, your problem is not my problem. Devea says, thank you, that makes sense. I trusted people I shouldn't have last year. I'm glad that resonated, but I'm sorry that happened. Okay, yes, we have, thank you, Geeta. We have Sophia next, if you are still with us. And then the lovely Geeta. Then Jazz, and then My Style. Thank you, Sophia. You're welcome, Devaya. So Sophia asks, I would like to know how me and A will be in a relationship when we eventually get together. The energy, the compatibility, the communication, attraction. Okay, so what kind of relationship will it be? I mean, I would say with, if you're manifesting this, Sophia, I would say you may already be doing this, okay? But I would begin to build that picture specifically of how you would like this to go. How would you like that relationship to look? Okay. And then begin to, you know, really try to embody that and focus on that ideal. Yeah. Write it down, journal it, visualize it, meditate on it. 15 minutes a day, you know, spend that time. But let's see what Spirit says. Would you believe it? I couldn't write this. This card has come out so many times. So this is kind of who you need to be and where we need to be in this relationship. I feel like this relationship, sort of a very important part of where it hinges is on honesty and you being the real you and communicating clearly your needs and what you want. And this in turn will help you get what you want. The Queen of Swords is really, I mean, all of the queens are, but in different ways, very bold. But the Queen of Swords is almost like the toughest cookie in the deck. Yeah, the sword suit is one of the more, like I say, strategic energies, who is someone who is not afraid of speaking out and being committed to her truth. So I feel like that's how you need to go into this connection. Let's have a look at their energy, yeah? A's energy. It doesn't matter about gender because there's a princess here, but it, like I say, it doesn't matter about gender. I feel like they will be more, in some ways, like more reserved in their energy. The Pentacles is genuine and is consistent. It's grounded energy, so that's who they will be. That's who they will show up as, someone who you can rely on, someone who you can depend on. And that's what we're working on in our manifestation as well, yeah. But you can see how there's almost like a shyness in this card, in this energy that maybe they will bring. It also can be quite, Pentacles is more slow moving than some other suits, but that doesn't mean that it's not because they don't feel strongly for this connection. What it almost means that it's because they feel strongly about this, that they think quite deeply and are quite cautious. So anything that they do say, they want to be able to back up with their actions, okay? Other energies can move faster, but they can be more fleeting. When it's Pentacles energy that shows up, it is commitment, it is stability. They are really in this, okay? So that's how you can, let me know if this resonates with how maybe that you already want this person to show up as. Maybe they show signs of this already, and to lean into that. And for you, what's important, it feels like that you need to excuse me, potentially speak out more. Maybe you're scared speaking your truth will scare them away, or will, you know, that you're maybe used to kind of compromising or hiding your real self. There's something about just being the more like, this is who I am, this is how it's going to go. So I hope that resonated. Sophia says that definitely sounds like him. It's been very slow, okay. So try to, this is good for manifestation as well, of try to reframe that slowness as not as a lack of feeling, as just maybe like a cautiousness and a reflection of the depth of feeling. But I mean, also in your manifestation, you can include that you want this to move faster. There's nothing wrong with that as well. Keep us posted. Keep us posted. Okay, Geeta, thank you for your question. Thanks, Jazz, for letting me know that you're here. And My Style, I see you. So Geeta asks, what is Prem thinking about me when he's watching my emails? He didn't contact me in a message or email, but talking through his channel videos, I know he have feelings for me, but still I am confused about him. Okay. So we see the Nine of Staves here, and I feel like this is I feel like maybe you've been through a lot of challenges, Geeta. And the Nine of Staves it's a very hopeful card, actually. It's about, you know, not giving up, and it's about persisting with going for what you want. Maybe they see you as someone who feels passionately and feels strongly, because this is Staves fire energy, and someone who will, the Nine of Staves really has a very kind of not giving up energy. So someone who is persistent, and someone who is, even despite challenges, is someone who really still has not given up on the relationship or the kind of love that they want. Yeah? I mean, this is a really nice image here of this woman who has been, despite challenges, despite setbacks, is still willing to really fight for what she wants and her dream and her ambition and her, you know, say for you, because this is the area of kind of relationship and connection, of going for what you want and not settling. And then I feel like this Nine of Swords came through, because I feel like that maybe you overthink or can worry as well. I don't know if maybe this is something that you've shared with Prem, and that they know about you as well, that they know that there's like an anxious side to you, someone who worries and overthinks. The Nine of Swords always comes in to kind of say, you know, things aren't gonna work out as badly as you kind of feel like they might. So even though you are determined and strong to continue to fight for what you want, there is also this other side of you that does have fear and does have worry and doubt. That I suppose you're continuing to go for it, but you're also worrying about it at the same time. So Spirit would say try not to overthink too much. Try not, I know it's easier said than done, but when you find yourself getting anxious and getting worried, try to ground yourself, be that in meditation, be that in, going for a walk in nature, whatever it is that does it for you, that helps you come back to yourself. Just try to manage your worries and fears as well. But I hope that resonated, Gita. Yeah. So try to work on managing those anxieties. Is also Spirit's advice. So next we have Jazz and then My Style. You can both go ahead and post now. Thank you, Jazz. I would like to know about their love life this year. You are single. Absolutely. Let's have a look at the energy around love for Jazz, please, Spirit, in the year 2026. Amazing year for movement and change, passion, busyness, hard work, ambitions, all of that kind of energy. Good for movement and change though if you felt stagnant. Ooh, lovely. Just what I said, hey, movement and change. Major Arcana. So, Jazz, if you have been feeling, stuck, maybe you've been single for some time and there just hasn't been, maybe you've had some connections that haven't gone anywhere, or maybe there just hasn't been anyone in the picture. But it's like that there's a real switch up and a shift that you do get forward momentum, movement, traction in 2026. Look at this beautiful horse that is charging along. I'm going to ask about who may be coming into this picture in relation to this movement and change, so that you can look out and watch this kind of energy. Spirit doesn't always like to share this, but we can always ask. Could be work related. Jazz, someone that you meet through work. Because this is your energy, this is you kind of focusing on your ambitions, your money, your finances. There's going to be a lot of that as well. But you are heading in the right direction. You are producing something beautiful and of great value and worth. But this would suggest to me, Jazz, quite strongly that this connection can be someone that you meet through work, through some kind of project, something. I don't know if you have other stuff going outside of work that, like projects or, what do you call it, sort of side businesses. It could be that, or it could just be directly someone that your main job that you cross paths with. You may feel that connection now and it can come from there, but if not, it can be someone new. So tell what resonates with that. But this would suggest, that it's through work projects, which is interesting. Sometimes can get tricky when it's in the workplace. but I'll say what I see. Thank you, Geeta. I appreciate all your help in the chat here. Makes my life a lot easier. Okay, so last but not least, we have My Style, who asks, what in my energy attracts friends that have health issues which sort of mirror mine? Oh, that's a crazy coincidence, isn't it? Is it an affinity of... Does this feel like a bad thing to you, My Style, or neither good nor bad? You're welcome, Jazz. Keep us posted. Judgment. It's a major arcana. I'll have to ask more. Another major arcana. I mean, what comes through with this Judgment card is that it can often sometimes be something karmic even. So they keep reminding you of your illness, okay? It gets in the way of me manifesting health. I see what you mean. Yeah, I can understand that. There's obviously with health, it's tricky, yeah, that because there are lessons to be learned in health, but it's very important, like, not to see these lessons as punishment as well. What I would first say as well is about, with friends that have similar illnesses, I would try to reframe that, My Style, so that you feel protected from that, in the sense that they're not getting in the way of manifesting your health. Like, they don't have that power. There can be something here just more about within it that is like understanding and compassion. What also comes to mind that is maybe having compassion for them is also in turn sort of having compassion for yourself, and maybe there's a need a bit more for that, for a bit more compassion for yourself, and maybe you kind of trying to almost reject them is a little bit of a rejection of yourself. You know how that mirrors that behavior. So I would try to maybe embody or find a way to frame this for yourself that feels like that it's helping you bring you closer to health more, that kind of as you are loving and compassionate to these friends about their illness, you are being in turn in a way loving and compassionate to that part of to yourself as well, if that makes sense. And this will help in creating kind of movement. This is you on your journey, on your manifest journey to health, that can help move you forward. So rather than seeing it as holding you in the ill health, in contributing to that. It's almost like that you're, because this is, I feel like this is you and your friends. And more that kind of energy that you are in it together and helping each other, even if someone has a different attitude, maybe a kind of perceived as more of a kind of negative attitude about their illness, or you know, they're on their own journey about their belief system. But yeah, that's what comes through strongly. Don't reject. In rejecting them, you are rejecting yourself. And when you offer them compassion and love, you offer compassion, love, and therefore more opportunity to heal to your illness. I hope that resonates, my style. So I think we had to move on, Gita, from Shreya, because I did call for them earlier, but the reading was missed, so I just skipped then, just because we have to keep things moving. So I'll end the live here. Gita, thank you so much for moderating. It's really appreciated. Lots of love and light to you, and thank you everyone who brought your questions today, that shared your questions. I hope that you found your readings of comfort and they helped offer you some insight and some peace. I will be live again on Friday, so just watch out for the community tab for the schedule. I'll update that on the Thursday. But wishing you all love and light until then. Take care. Thank you for being here. Thanks, Gita. Lots of love. Take care.